Well, hello, East Hill again. My name is Ryan. I'm one of the pastors here at East Hill Church. Today, we have the opportunity to talk with Eric Knox at Holla Ministries. Eric is an amazing leader that's leading an amazing mentorship ministry for our black and brown kids in our community. Eric, can you take a few seconds and can you just tell us a little bit more about what Holla is and what you're doing with Holla?
We Holla is an utterance. It's an active phrase, um, really highlighting who we are in East Side community. Um, Holla's a nonprofit that is committed to mentoring Black and Brown kids, um, and we believe in the power of Black and Brown youth and their potential. And so gentrification pushed a lot of Black and Brown families out of inner Northeast Portland out to East County. And we realized in those schools and communities, there wasn't a lot of adult representation there that understood their experience. And so Holla got off the ground. I'm the founder and executive director. And when I say founder, I say that very humbly because when I initially got it off the ground, I wasn't trying to found anything. I was just trying to show up and be present. We have 65 Black and Brown college age students and working professionals that mentor that many Black and Brown kids. And we just understand that, there's something powerful and dynamic when somebody that looks like you shows up in your space and understands it. And so that's been significant to our work. So Holla is in a nutshell, it is a culturally responsive mentoring organization that centers its work and experience on the stories of Black and Brown youth.
It's great. It's amazing. It's incredible that this has birthed out of you and it's a part of your heart.
Yeah.
It's always really incredible to talk to somebody who has heard something from God, felt called to do something, and then man just made it happen, Eric. And so it's a pleasure to talk with you. Can you tell me a bit of that story about where this mission came from, where Holla came from? Tell me the story, the start story out of your heart and where it kind of came out of.
It came as a result of, at the end of the day, it's God's hand on your life, God's call on your life. It was something I couldn't shake. It was something that got me up in the morning that I wept over. I'm deeply emotional about it. And I think it has a lot to do with my story. I was that kid that grew up in South Central, that experienced a lot of pain, a lot of trauma. In some respects, I felt like I had to raise myself. I had been disappointed by a lot of adults. I got kicked out of like 3 different schools. I came from a broken home. And I had friends that had died at a young. I experienced death at a very young age, and so when I see those kids, I see myself, and that's what I think God was preparing me. I hate to say God created all that trauma in life so I could do this work, but we live in a sinful, broken world, and yet God redeems it and redeems you in it. And I have found that God has called me precisely into the environment that I came out of to not only redeem it, but to redeem me. And it's been a beautiful thing as a 54-year-old man who's a completely different human being than I was when I was a child.
Yeah, I think oftentimes, we all go through our different types of pain, whatever that may look like. Yours in South Central, mine in the hard streets of Gresham, Oregon. Or whatever our story is.
Yeah.
It's easy in the moment to look at it and say, God is doing this, or God is a part of this. But I think the redeeming part of a ministry like Holla and about the ministries that we do at East Hill is we start to explore the idea that instead of God doing something to us,
Yeah.
He's using something that's been done to us for His good.
Yes.
And I think it's just so powerful to just create mentorship opportunities with Black and brown kids that don't know that they're deserving of that. And then in
Yes.
that same place, it's incredible that you have that. Can you tell me a bit about what mentorship looks like through Holla? What does that look like?
We don't believe in a one size fits all way of mentoring. There's a rhythm to mentorship, and every kid is dynamic. And like when you think about Jesus coming into a community, it was very vulnerable. Like Jesus came to a people that were under occupation. They were on the other side of the track, and he incarnates, which basically means he shows up. And then the creativity of the Holy Spirit does all kind of work in that community and sets the world ablaze because of it. So for us, in keeping with those types of tropes and themes, incarnation, showing up and being present in the life of our kids and not trying to dictate or even direct per se how they're to live out their life, but give them freedom to live it out and to resource that. We always say for Black and brown kids, just based upon the culture, the systems, our history, being here in America, a lot of our kids come from a society systemically and institutionally. I say a culture of no, you know what I mean? Like all the roadblocks and barriers to being a person of color here in society. Holla wanted to be a culture of yes. Like, hell yeah. This is, you want to dream, you want to, I've taken our kids all, we've seen the Smithsonian's, we've gone all over the country. I want to resource our kids' dreams so that they can see the possibility and potentials of what is possible out there for them. And so, we come alongside kids and resource them. You know what I'm saying? We don't dictate where they need to go. They get to dictate that. We just sit with them in their thoughts, dream with them, and then come alongside and resource that. And that's what Holla mentoring looks like.
I love the idea of mentorships, excuse me, and I love what you guys are doing. A question that some people might have is you speak specifically to Black and brown young people that need mentorship. I know a lot of white kids that need membership. Why is Holla focused just on the Black and brown communities?
Well, you know what? Most certainly every kid needs mentorship. In fact, there's a national statistic that says for every 500 kids, regardless of race, there's only one mentor. So I mean, you can make a case that everybody needs a mentorship, but as a Christ follower, I do realize that the kingdom of God oftentimes breaks in the lives of the most vulnerable. And that's just so happens to be Black and brown kids. If you look at statistically, whether it's healthcare, employment, education, housing, whatever, Black and brown families are at the bottom and white families are at the top. So, I was talking to a guy that runs a Jewish nonprofit, and I thought this is beautiful. I remember asking him, I said, do you only serve Jewish people? And he goes, no, we serve everyone. He goes, but we serve everyone from a Jewish perspective. So it's not like we have white kids actually in our organization that we serve. But we serve all kids through a Black and brown urban expression. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the hardest hit. Think about what's happening with COVID and the pandemic. I'm on the front lines of these families, and those communities have been the hardest hit. So, we understand the riches are in the niches. And so we've, made a conscious effort to start first and foremost with those in our community that are most vulnerable. And that happens to be Black and brown kids.
You cannot remove the beauty of a call.
Right.
You can't undersell it. And you have a definite, clear call. And I really appreciate that, Eric. Thank you for being vulnerable and answering a difficult question. I appreciate that. For our Heart for the Mission offering, our vision is to address people's practical needs locally, globally, so they can experience the love of God and know that they're seen. In light of this vision, can you just very clearly, I think you've done this already, but can you clearly spell out how that connects with Holla Ministries? Where does that connect?
I can't thank East Hill enough, to be honest with you. Pastor Keith and Pastor Coco have been beautiful. In COVID, all of us have had our life adjusted, right? And we've all had to pivot, including our organization, Holla. And so we've paid thousands of dollars worth of rent and utilities and given out gift cards. But one of the big pieces has been food insecurity. And that's where East Hill has really stepped up. We give out boxes of food every Thursday. And it's awesome to know that we can come up to East Hill and pick up boxes and drop them off at doorsteps of families we serve. And it's not something that, we take lightly. I appreciate even Pastor Coco, how intentional she is. She's, anytime, whether it's the Convoy of Hope or it's some, they get a big bundle of food, she's quick to text me and say, hey, how many of your families need boxes? And we need a lot all the time. So, to have, East Hill really partner in that way has been a beautiful thing for us.
That's incredible. So let's say someone's feeling inspired and they don't just want like a portion of their giving from just this one-time gift to go to Holla, but what if they want to partner with Holla? What does partnership look like, and how does someone partner with Holla?
You, I call it the three S's. Either you can share about who and what we are. Go to our website. You can get a snapshot, or I'm happy to have a Zoom meeting in COVID. After COVID, we can have a cup of coffee just to talk about how to share and get the word out about Holla. Like, you could be out there hollering for Holla out there. The other one is support. We're a nonprofit, and we survive off the donations of people that believe in our mission and are willing to support it. And the last one is serve. We're always looking for mentors. We're always looking for people. Like, we have a bomb literacy program. And so we're always looking for those just to read with kids. We're always looking for people to drop food boxes off. We can put you to work, trust me. The needs are they're overwhelming. So, if anybody wants to plug in, sharing and getting the word out, letting us know that we're here. We're East County. We're not that far from your church. Or, like I said, supporting us and helping us keep our doors open, especially in COVID, or serving on a practical level. That could be weekly, that could be bi-monthly, that can be seasonally, as we roll out our work.
That's awesome. So let's get back to the support part just a little bit. When people do give to this Heart for the Mission offering, portions of it are going to allow us to give to more ministry with Holla. Where does that money go? How does that actually support your ministry? What does supporting the ministry look like? Give me some idea and where that money goes.
Right now, we have a campaign called, there's two campaigns. We have right now Holla Dollars, and we've given out almost $100,000 of actual money to help with, lost wages, utilities, rent, medical supplies, whatever. So Holla Dollars is where a big bulk of where our money goes. The other pieces, which we're rolling out in 2021, it's called Hope with Holla. And we have a lot of kids. We got almost 65 kids in our immediate program, one-on-one matched. And we've got probably another 125 kids that are impacted by our services. Hope with Holla is being able to resource their dreams. Kids, whether they want to play basketball, or whether they want to travel to Washington, D.C. and see the Smithsonian's, or whether they want to learn how to code online, we want to be able to resource that. You know what I'm saying? So we want to provide hope for kids and for families. If families want to do things with their kids and they just don't have the resources to do it, we want to have the money to do it. It's our dream fund.
That's awesome. That's incredible. You like alliteration, man. You've done least, last, and lowest, interculture, share, support, and serve, Holla Dollars, and Hope with Holla, man. You gotta get over. We gotta get you naming some stuff we do over here, man.
Hey, I'm a preacher, man. I pastored for 35 years.
I love it.
I preached a lot of sermons.
Yeah, I love it. So as we wrap up here, Eric, can you give us can you give us, not the way to say that, are there any parting words as we wrap up the interview that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I think for me, this is the perfect opportunity for the church. I know we're in a pandemic. I know we're in a economic crisis. I know people have found themselves in places they never thought they would have found themselves, but there was a book I read by Rodney Starks called The Rise of Christianity. And it was talking about the first century when a plague hit Rome. And he said it was the Christians that were willing to put their lives on the line to serve people, even unto their own death, that they were willing to live selfless and upside down and counterintuitive. And my encouragement to the church is we have a tremendous opportunity in this moment not to be self-preserving, but to give ourselves away, especially in the most dire of circumstances. And that's one of the things that I do appreciate about East Hill, that you guys really have taken that leap of faith and you've not self-preserved, but you've been giving yourself away in the pandemic. And I would say to y'all, keep it up.
Awesome. Eric Knox, thank
That
you so
cool?
much. Yeah, it's good, man. Thank you so much for taking time to answer some questions and give us some idea on what's going on with Holla. We really appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
All
Thanks,
right.
Ryan.